Imagine checking into a luxurious hotel in the heart of America, expecting a peaceful night's sleep. But the next morning, hotel staff discover a guest lying inside his room. The lights are off. The room is covered in blood. Furniture has been moved. The telephone cord has been ripped from the wall. And yet, the room is locked from the inside. No one knows what happened. Even today, nearly a century later, investigators still debate one terrifying question. Who killed the mysterious man in room 1046? This is not a fictional horror movie. This is a real unsolved mystery that shocked America. It all began in January 1935, at the President Hotel in Kansas City, Missouri. One afternoon, a man walked into the hotel carrying almost no luggage. He introduced himself as Roland T. Owen. He appeared to be in his early 20s. He wore an expensive overcoat and looked calm, but something about him immediately caught the attention of the hotel staff. He refused to provide much personal information. He paid for only one night. Then he quietly walked to room 1046. At first, nothing seemed unusual. But within a few hours, several employees noticed something strange. Every time someone knocked on the door, the room was almost completely dark. Even during the afternoon, Roland spoke very little. Whenever housekeeping entered the room, they noticed that he seemed nervous. The curtains remained tightly closed. There was almost no luggage, no personal belongings, no books, no newspapers, nothing that revealed who he really was. It was as if he wanted to erase every trace of his identity. No one could have imagined that before the next sunrise, room 1046 would become one of the most terrifying unsolved mysteries in American history. As evening approached, the mystery deepened. Around 4 p.m., a hotel maid named Mary entered room 1046 to deliver fresh towels. Roland was sitting alone in complete darkness. The curtains were tightly closed, even though it was still daylight outside. Mary politely asked if he needed anything. Roland looked at her for a moment and quietly replied, "No, I'm waiting for someone." His voice was calm, but something about his expression made her uncomfortable. A few hours later, another hotel employee came to the room. This time, Roland wasn't alone. The employee noticed a mysterious man inside the room, dressed in a dark suit. The two men were speaking in low voices, almost whispering. As soon as the employee entered, the conversation stopped. The atmosphere felt tense. Nobody knew who the visitor was. Later that evening, several guests reported hearing loud voices coming from room 1046. Some said it sounded like an argument. Others heard heavy footsteps. Then, everything suddenly became silent. Around midnight, a neighbor heard what sounded like a woman screaming somewhere on the same floor. A few moments later, a loud crash echoed through the hallway. But when hotel staff checked the area, they found nothing unusual. The hallway was empty. Room 1046 was closed. The lights inside were still off. No one called for help. No one opened the door. The strange noises stopped as quickly as they had begun. The employees assumed the guests had settled down for the night. They had no idea that, behind the locked door of room 1046, something horrifying had already happened. The next morning would reveal one of the most disturbing crime scenes in American history. The next morning, everything seemed normal. Around 7 a.m., a hotel maid walked to room 1046 to clean it. She knocked on the door several times, but there was no answer. Assuming the guest was asleep, she used her master key to unlock the room. As the door slowly opened, she froze. The room was almost completely dark. The curtains were still tightly closed. The furniture had been moved out of place, and there were signs that a violent struggle had taken place. Then she saw Roland. He was lying on the bed, barely alive. His body showed severe injuries. He had been beaten badly, and the room was stained with blood. Yet somehow, he was still breathing. The maid screamed for help. Hotel staff immediately called the police and an ambulance. When officers arrived, they were shocked. The telephone cord had been pulled from the wall. There were very few personal belongings in the room. No wallet, no identification, nothing that clearly revealed who Roland really was. Even stranger, the room appeared to have been locked, making it difficult to understand how the attacker had escaped. Roland was rushed to the hospital. Doctors tried desperately to save his life. Police questioned him, hoping he could identify the person responsible. But despite his condition, Roland spoke only a few words. He reportedly insisted that no one was responsible, refusing to identify or accuse anyone. Shortly afterward, he died from his injuries. Now the investigation became even more mysterious. Who was Roland T. Owen? Why had he checked into the hotel under that name? Who was the unknown man seen entering the room? And if the room had been secured, how had the killer disappeared without being seen? Those questions would puzzle investigators for decades. After Roland's death, detectives launched a massive investigation. Their first goal was simple: find out who Roland T. Owen really was. But the deeper they investigated, the stranger the case became. The address he had given the hotel was false. No records matched his identity. No family came forward to claim his body. It was as if the man had never existed. Police questioned hotel employees and guests. Several witnesses confirmed seeing an unknown man enter room 1046 the night before the attack. Others reported hearing arguments and strange noises. But no one could identify the visitor. Then came an even more shocking discovery. Weeks later, detectives learned that Roland T. Owen was actually an alias. His real name was Artemus Ogletree, a young man from Alabama. His family said they had lost contact with him months earlier and had no idea he was in Kansas City. Even after discovering his true identity, the biggest question remained unanswered. Who killed him, and why? Over the years, investigators proposed several theories. Some believed he had become involved with organized crime. Others suspected he had been betrayed by someone he trusted. Another theory suggested he was trying to hide from dangerous people and had been living under a false name. Despite years of investigation, no suspect was ever charged. No confession was ever made. No conclusive evidence revealed exactly what happened inside room 1046. The case slowly turned into one of America's most famous unsolved mysteries. Years passed. The police reopened the case several times, hoping that new evidence would finally reveal the truth. But every lead ended the same way, with more questions than answers. One of the biggest mysteries was the anonymous funeral arrangement. After Artemus Ogletree's identity became known, an unknown person reportedly paid for flowers and sent a heartfelt note to his funeral. No one ever discovered who sent them. Investigators also revisited the witness statements. Some believed the mysterious man seen entering room 1046 was the killer. Others thought more than one person may have been involved. Several theories emerged. Theory 1. Organized crime. Some researchers believe Artemus may have become involved with criminals and was attacked after a dispute. However, no evidence has ever confirmed this. Theory 2. Personal betrayal. Another theory suggests he knew his attacker personally and refused to identify them, even while dying. Theory 3. A hidden life because he used a false name and shared very little about himself. Some believe he was hiding from someone or trying to disappear. Again, this has never been proven. To this day, no one knows exactly what happened inside room 1046. The case remains officially unsolved. Nearly a century later, it continues to fascinate detectives, historians, and mystery enthusiasts around the world because so many key questions remain unanswered. Was the killer someone he trusted? Why did he travel under a false identity? And why did he refuse to reveal the truth before he died? Perhaps those answers disappeared forever behind the closed door of room 1046. If you enjoyed this true mystery, don't forget to like, follow, and share for more real horror and unsolved mystery stories. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, and stay safe.